This wasn't supposed to happen yet. An 18-year-old defenseman stepping into the NHL, breaking records that had stood for decades. But what makes this one different isn't just what he's doing, it's everything he's had to survive to get here. Before Matthew Schaefer reached the NHL, his path was shaped by loss, injury, and moments where hockey had to take a backseat to life. And ultimately, that's what prepared him to become the face of a franchise. Because this isn't just a story about how good Matthew Schaefer is, it's a story about why he is. In the 2023 OHL draft, Matthew Schaefer was selected first overall by the Erie Otters. That alone put him in rare company, joining Ryan O'Reilly and Connor McDavid as the only first overall picks in Otters history. And just like that, expectations landed on a 16-year-old defenseman. Schaefer's rookie season wasn't flashy on the surface. He finished with 3 goals and 17 points in 56 games. But context matters. As a rookie defenseman in the OHL, which is considered one of the toughest and most elite development leagues in the world, Schaefer needed to adjust to major junior hockey before he could dominate. And despite that, he earned first-team All-Rookie honors, a quiet confirmation that the league saw what was coming. But the numbers didn't tell the full story of what he was dealing with off the ice. During his rookie season, at just 16 years old, Schaefer faced more personal loss than many players face in their entire career. On December 11th, 2023, Schaefer lost his billet mother, the host parent who had taken him in while he played away from home, in a tragedy that was later ruled a suicide. And then, just 2 months later, he was forced to endure another unimaginable loss. In February 2024, his mother passed away following a 2-year battle with breast cancer. For a teenager far from home, balancing grief with the pressures of elite hockey, the emotional toll was immense. And yet, he kept playing. Not because hockey was easy, but because hockey became the one constant he could lean on. That context matters, because it shaped the way he handled what came next. Schaefer entered the 2024-25 season poised to take a leap, and almost immediately, he hit a massive hurdle. He missed the first 9 games of the season with mononucleosis, losing critical development time in what was supposed to be his showcase year. When he finally returned, there was no ramp-up. In just 17 OHL games, Schaefer recorded 7 goals and 22 points.
Dancing around, Schaefer pass, oh my goodness!
Absolutely killer production, putting up over a point per game. Then came the World Juniors. Wearing the maple leaf at the 2025 World Junior Championship, Schaefer looked ready to announce himself on the global stage. In Canada's opening game, he recorded both a goal and an assist. But in Game 2, everything changed. While chasing down a puck in the offensive zone, Schaefer lost his balance and crashed hard into the goalpost, his left shoulder taking the full impact. The result? A broken collarbone. In just a moment, both the World Juniors and his season were over. Instead of returning home immediately, Schaefer chose to undergo surgery overseas so he could remain with his teammates, a small decision that spoke volumes about his character. Despite missing most of the season, he was named the top North American skater on NHL Central Scouting's midterm rankings, and later was awarded the CHL's Top Draft Prospect Award. But the question lingered. Had he missed too much time to stay the clear #1 pick? The New York Islanders didn't hesitate. In the 2025 NHL Draft, they selected Matthew Schaefer first overall, betting not on games played, but on who he'd already proven himself to be.
New York Islanders are proud to select from the Erie Otters, Matthew Schaefer.
At 6'2", 186 pounds, the left-shot defenseman was already viewed as one of the smoothest skaters in the draft. His skating was widely considered his greatest asset, being explosive, fluid, and effortless. Scouts compared him to the likes of Cale Makar and Miro Heiskanen, some even calling him generational. On August 4th, he signed a 3-year entry-level deal with the Islanders, and within days of stepping into the NHL, it became clear this wasn't going to be a slow introduction. On October 9th, at just 18 years and 34 days old, Matthew Schaefer announced himself. In his debut, he became the youngest defenseman in league history to record a point, picking up an assist. 2 nights later, he scored his first NHL goal, becoming the second youngest defenseman ever to do it. Within weeks, Matthew Schaefer was doing things that simply don't happen, especially from an 18-year-old defenseman. He became the youngest defenseman in NHL history to reach 25 points, and the youngest to record a multi-goal game, besting a record once held by the great Bobby Orr. He was also the first teenage defenseman ever to score 8 goals through his first 25 NHL games. And when the moments got bigger, he got better. Not only did he become the youngest defenseman ever to score an overtime goal, he joined Sidney Crosby as the only 18-year-olds in NHL history to score multiple overtime goals. And here's why that matters. For defensemen, this kind of impact usually takes years. Most don't hit their offensive stride until their mid to late 20s, after hundreds of NHL games, earning their minutes and hard lessons. Schaefer is doing it before he can legally rent a car. That's what made this feel less like a hot start, and more like something arriving ahead of schedule. By late October, Schaefer was named NHL Rookie of the Month. By late November, he was the Calder Trophy favorite, and the impact showed up in the standings. One season earlier, the New York Islanders were a bottom third team. With Schaefer driving play from the blue line, they've surged into the NHL's top 10, a leap that mirrored his arrival. Quick pause. If you're enjoying these videos and want more hockey stories like this, I'd really appreciate you subscribing. I'm about 500 subs away from unlocking channel monetization, and your support genuinely helps me keep making these videos. I can't thank you enough. Alright, let's get back to Schaefer. But here's what separates Schaefer from most teenage stars. His teammates will move heaven and earth to protect him because they believe in him, and we saw it on December 28th. When Mason Marchment clipped Schaefer with his leg, Matthew Barzal immediately stepped in, delivering a hard slash on Marchment, a quiet signal of how quickly Schaefer had earned respect inside the locker room. Coaches trust him, and fans absolutely love him. Not because he demands attention, but because he carries himself like someone who understands what he's been given, and what it costs. And that presence hasn't gone unnoticed beyond the rink. In January 2026, Tom Brady personally called Schaefer out, drawn to his composure and his, quote, eye of the tiger mentality, later bringing him on to represent his performance brand, Noble. For an 18-year-old defenseman, that kind of recognition doesn't come from flash. It comes from substance. Matthew Schaefer's story isn't about skipping steps. It's about enduring them. Loss, tragedy, injury, and still arriving ready. He didn't just make the NHL, he's reshaping what's possible for a teenage defenseman. And if this is only the beginning, if this is what happens after everything he's already faced, well, then the rest of the league may want to get ready, because Matthew Schaefer is just getting started.
Twist